So I did this workout last week, so I'm just now rewatching it, so I really have no idea what's about to happen. This is me playing with internal external rotation and a little scapular mobilization, as well as shaking it out, articulating hands and feet. I'm pointing at that foot because that's my bad leg, and it takes a lot to make the calf and shin muscles articulate whenever I'm actually moving my ankle, because that stuff can just get stuck. I always love to wiggle it out when I lay down. This is a morning workout. Literally, I had 20 minutes before a client started. That little trick right there. It's as if reaching to grab a hold of the bar and then you pulling back up through to find the blocks. I talk so much more about how you actually use your back and use your core to pull in my springs workshop. Check that out. So, general footwork, going to the arches slash bird on the perch. Yep. That's become a really, really informative exercise for me because I've really started to be able to feel where my left femur, left pelvis hip socket stability is able to wiggle and jiggle out of place. So I've been working really, really, really a lot in that parallel arches position. The lowering of the heels, the tendon stretch. I cannot stress how much this is not about a calf stretch, as it is learning where your spring really is pushing and pulling on you so that you find those abs to scoop up. I'm really probably most likely focusing on that left foot again because, that's my life. Let's do some 100. So, who finds that their watch gets in the way, right? I just kind of like suck it up, but you should take your watch off, lowering the legs, and then I add leg variations because for me, where else can you go? What is your movement potential? Holy moly, laying it down, pretty sure I'm on a good amount of spring right there, and still being able to have freedom in the hips when you take that complete supine position with all that spring and force on you. The short spine. So, my low back has not been really agreeing with flexibility lately. I've mentioned it in a few of my other videos. It gradually gets better in the short spine. And one of my things about short spine when teaching it is to really tell clients your first rep of short spine should feel nothing like your last rep of short spine. That is an exercise that should progress. I went straight into the overhead here, and that's where you really see as my legs come down, you're going to see where my low back is just like, and I try to stand through my shoulders more to get more lift to support that weight of my legs. But into coordination. I like to actually pull in and adduct the arms as well, giving that kind of streamlined pull up through your core that then leads into backstroke. So why do you have to do backstroke on the long box? Really what you're going to be playing with is where the straps or your leather or your cords, how high or low they are on you, which changes the pull. I took it into some shoulder bridge, pelvic curl, because again, I knew my low back apparently was tight, so my body said, why don't you articulate? Because I could see it in the short spine looking back on it now. I've got a grip on the reformer carriage down there with my hands, and that's so that I can maintain that pull up through my back on my own. Looks like we're going for the massage of the stomachs. Oh, I remember this. I remember this. There's a fun variation at the end I do on here. All right. I also do a fun, easy turn in, turn out, stretch it out. Go for the reach first. That last part of the exercise, go for it. And then keep looking for it. Keep looking for where that back wants that curve. And here you see it again. My lumbar spine does not actually want to curve. It doesn't want to curve at all. I felt like I was really rounding. But, as I go, it gets a little bit better. Oh, wow. That was pretty. Going through flexion to extension with an arm circle. Wow, I reversed that. That was an interesting. I dare you to try that. I dare you to try that. That is where I felt my left side say, hey, we don't twist as much. But really, is it that my left side won't rotate, or is it that my right side won't let me come near it? So I come and make that left side move that right side more. This was a fun experiment through obliques as well as shoulders. And I always burn after short stomach massage, guys. Like my ankle just burns. Fun little variation I saw. Why not use plank slash push up, a little bit of lunge. You could even pigeon and put that leg up on the reformer. Just something to like transition while people are standing so it's not like, ugh, I just finished an exercise. You know, what I'm doing right now where I'm wasting time before coming up into my long stretch series. Just gonna call myself out right there. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I think I just do some standard long stretch series till I get to those knees down for the down stretch. I think that's where that get fun if I remember correctly. I'm on a good heavy spring here because I really wanted to feel that connection of butt to thigh and drive through the whole lower leg. Down stretch. This is filmed early in the morning, so I'm not trying to challenge my extension at all. I'm just trying to lift and open up my chest while I feel this nice strength in the alignment of the whole ears over ribs, over shoulders, over pelvis. My back does extend considerably more than that, but as we can see from the fact that it wouldn't flex, I do love some extension now, don't I? It always feels nice to me when I'm just trying to work out to go through the kneeling exercises as a series. So if it's like I went from my down stretch and I skipped a whole bunch of stuff and I went to my kneeling knee stretches. Round, mildly arched, because it was mildly rounded, let's be real, okay? That just happened, all right? I'm fighting some stuff in here, okay? But you have to really connect back into the spring from the lower body and push into it. If you try to just push into it from your arms and shoulders, that exercise is a mess, and you will not be able to sustain knees off if all you're doing is thinking shove back from my arms. It's what's closest to the springs that moves the springs. Gonna plug my workshop one more time while I stand up and dance around. I talk more about how to connect to those springs through your lower body when you're on your knees in my spring workshop. I cover knee stretches specifically. Also, kneeling arm circles. Oh, snap. Kneeling side arms. Okay, so I know that I'm on a red spring because I only do a blue spring on side arms when I really just want to focus on stability in my lower body. Since I only had 20 minutes and I was just like trying to work out, I was like, I want to feel some work. I want to feel some muscles so that I'm awake for the whole day when I'm teaching. And then when I teach, my body won't fall down on itself because I'm up. And yeah, well, if I use a light spring, I don't necessarily get that because I do need to lift that power out of my lower body. And again, I strongly believe that what's closest to the springs should move the spring. So albeit you see my arm, but really in my mind, I'm thinking, how is my lower body stabilizing and working that spring so it pulls? That therefore will set up your lateral side body because it's your side body that deals with that spring. You see the arm, you see like all this like, oh, look, she's so strong. Oh, 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 oh. No. I'm not trying to strengthen my arms. I'm trying to actually find where the pull of the spring comes through my whole torso. And you see that here because you could see on that first rep that my right shoulder wanted to lift and then it kind of stabilized as I brought that left adductor up into center and had some more support. I'm not quite sure what that kicky thing was, but I'm sure I had a reason. Like, I'm sure I did. Arm circles. Open up around. You know what they are. They're circles with your arms. But that connection back into the block, that connection down through the knees to go back, that propels you forward, up, around into the spring. So the spring's never heavy on you. You're meeting it the whole time. Wow, I did salutes back there. Actually, that's shave the head because it goes back behind the head. And then I did salutes. I felt inspired this morning. Curving it back, setting it down. Apparently, I'm making sure that my client ain't walking in the door so I can keep going. I'm not one of those people who does the whole calorie burn thing on my smartwatch because I feel like I'm smarter than my watch. My watch can't tell me when my SI joint is out. My watch can't tell me when I need to lengthen my back. It'll tell me to breathe because it's a condescending piece of technology. But that's why I don't work out and talk at the same time. I breathe when I work out. And the only reason there's no sound on is because Eliza, who just walked by, was also teaching a session.